Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Channels Beam, and our focus is on some documents that have been denied, now allegedly released before the 2015 presidential elections by the APC. The APC is saying now that it is not aware. The presidency as well has said the same thing. But guys, let me just come back to you to continue from where we stopped before this short break.
The covenant that was shared is even achievable, even by the resource requirements that is necessary. 25 million Nigerians earning 5,000 naira per year, per month, per year is going to raise up to 1 trillion, up to 1 trillion naira in a year. You need almost 900 billion naira to feed all the school children in Nigeria. If you're going to do that effectively at 100 naira per meal per day. So if we put all of that together, did the party actually put a pen and a paper to say, is this even achievable considering the kind of resources that we have as a country? Over the past few years, unless we're going to say we're going to sack all the entire civil service and we're not going to pay back our debt, we're going to get that kind of money, or we're going to do some magic around our tax system that we're going to triple it or quadruple it. So I don't think, personally, looking at those documents, I don't think enough thought process was put into it around costing it effectively. And I also think maybe that's why it now looks difficult to now keep up with them, and maybe that's what Garba Shehu is trying to do. But in reality, it also shows the flaws in terms of our politicking and our political party system when it comes to campaigns. But it's an evolving discussion. 2 years ago, we didn't even have manifesto at all, or documents old people too. But now I think going forward, there's a need for them to have more deeper research. So how much will this thing cost, and to more careful about what it costs.
Let's just make a comparison. Sean's calculation about the 5,000 to 25 million poorest is right, about getting to 1 trillion, just over a trillion a year. Now, there's a I think that there's a I want to term the tyranny of the majority when it comes to the issue of cash, this money being given out. Sean, as is I have a lot of respect for him, but when AMCON wiped the help build the banks out to the tune of over 5 trillion. Nobody said anything. The banks were built out to the tune of over 5 trillion. Nobody said anything. It was normal. They were let go. This 5 trillion we're talking about will fund this cash transfer program for more than 5 years.
You spoke and said 5 trillion was used to bail the banks out. That is incorrect. Okay. The total asset base of those banks, all the banks that were bailed out, is not 5 trillion. So I wonder if, except they are bailing them out for all of their asset base. When you throw figures around like this, you need to be certain about the figures. 5 trillion was not used to bail out banks. It is impossible to have used the budget of the whole country is 4-point-something trillion.
Exactly.
You cannot use 100% of the budget to build out banks. Then you need to be certain about figures and go around. It is incorrect. Sold recently. 2 of them were sold recently. One of them was sold for less than 100 billion. One of them was sold for 120 billion. How in the world would they have been built out for 5 trillion if the valuation of the whole bank was less than 200 billion? The 2 of them. We need to ensure that we don't throw figures around that are incorrect to craft wrong narratives. That's the first thing I'm going to say.
The reality of the matter is, I've always said this thing strongly, that if we're going to do things in a socialist manner, it's good to feed children. But the question is this sustainable? Do we have enough capacity, enough wiggle room to sustain this? Basically, you find people, even Gulf economies that are oil rich, removing forced subsidies. You find people who are trying to remove all these kind of benefits, the direct benefit, because we find that in the long run it becomes very, very sustainable. I feel it to be a good approach, but we must look at it from one hand. How do we sustain it 5, 6, 7 years from now? Our biggest resource is still from oil. All dynamics shows that we don't control that space. We don't control how much oil price goes in the crude market. Taxes, we are not doing well. We have 4.6% of our GDP. When an average economy in sub-Saharan Africa does 50% tax to GDP. So until we be able to tick those boxes, if we triple our tax income now, and we are able to show you clearly that we can triple our tax income, we can make a lot more savings in terms of how we manage our resources in terms of the expenditure oil prices, definitely we can manage that, but even we can say, okay, this is what we are budgeting on $40 per barrel, and we can still do this in the next 5 years. Yes, we can start it. But if we are going to do this, and we're going to keep having more debt burden and more debt burden to the country because we want to do this and because we feel it is populist, then it's going to be a problem in the long run.
So when many of the campaign promises were being made, a lot of people raised questions and were shouted down. For example, in the manifesto, there's a promise to build 4 million houses, 1 million per year. We're at 1/3 of the first year, about 1/3 of the first year. Not a single house has been built. And we did raise the issue that building 1 million houses in a year, promising that in a year, was the cost of 1 million houses in 1 year is more than the budget of the country. It's twice the budget of the country. Where is this money going to come from? People were shouted down. Now, the logical thing to do would be to allow the government a leeway to say, oh, we found out we can build 1 million houses. And so this is what we can build based on the realities that we have seen, especially because oil is down and all of that. But the correct thing to do as citizens is to tell the government, you said 1 million houses, you have built 50,000. Oh, 50,000 is okay, you've tried. But against 1 million houses, you have not done well. You've done 5%. And that is exactly how this government will be measured by citizens.
You know, in 100 days, this government cannot point to one thing that it has done. You know, that day when the government was still busy denying the campaign promises, you recall that Boko Haram, that was on the 1st of September, Boko Haram, you know, struck on horseback. They killed 80 Nigerians. The government did not even issue a statement, at least under the clueless Jonathan, according to what they say. Abati usually issues this statement regularly. And you recall the next day, the same Boko Haram again on horseback killed 26 Nigerians. That's 106 people that were killed in 2 days. From May 29 to today that Buhari has taken over, Boko Haram has killed more than 1,238 Nigerians. The government barely responds. We are not even saying stick to the campaign promise of crushing Boko Haram within 3 months. You understand? We are just simple things like asset declaration becomes an issue. You know, they are telling us how their cows multiplied from 150 to 250. That this is not the reason why people voted for Buhari. Like, you know, the last contributor has said, we should stop. Government is not a petty business.
All right, guys, thank you all again for coming on the program this afternoon and sharing your thoughts. But that's how much we can take on this segment of the program. We'll take another break. And when we return, we'll be joined by Ayo Shogunro for more analysis. Please stay with us.